Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. I am so excited that we could get back on track tonight. It is December 6th, and we have a super special guest with us tonight, Sidney Galpern from Simi Cakes. And are you dying just looking at those beautiful Christmas trees? I am so excited to see how she makes those and to have two different kinds. For those of you who really like the gingerbread rustic and those of you who like full-on Christmas color, I am so excited. All right, you guys, listen, let's not forget to show our artists some love. If you're watching from a phone, make sure you hit that like and love button, but not more than 100 times in a row or you're going to get a Facebook jail card for the night. Also, please share the stream. It doesn't matter if you're watching live or replay. It helps the artists get exposure, and all of their time for this event has been donated. So we are just super excited to try to help them out. If you haven't followed Sidney yet, we're going to bring her on and let her give you a little bio about herself. And we're going to ask her to tell us how we can follow her on Instagram and Facebook. And by the way, let me know over in the comments how you like that final intro video with all of the collaboration pieces and the artist pieces tonight. I'm hoping you guys are digging the new Christmas vibe. Sidney!
Hello!
How are you?
It's so good to see you.
You doing well tonight?
I'm doing great. Hi, everybody.
Are you
yeah,
in
I'm
your
so
new
excited to be
studio?
here. Thanks for having me. I am, yeah. I'm in my home studio right now, so I don't have tons of decorations yet. I need ideas.
It's very nice to be able to work from home sometimes, right?
Yes, definitely.
Hey, Mom Michelle is there, right?
Yeah, Mom and Dad are both here.
You want to put a hand in the camera? Come say hello.
She's monitoring the comments and making sure everything is going to look okay for us.
All right. How you feeling about your... Hi. It's so good to see you. How are you guys feeling about your internet and sound? Are we okay?
Yeah, it's sounding good to me. What do you guys think? Let me know.
I think maybe we have like a little 3-second, 5-second delay. So I'll try to be real careful to not talk when you're talking. But if you see me wave, it's because somebody has a question, okay?
Okay, no problem at all.
Make sure you tell them how to follow you. We definitely want to increase your followers. And we want them to learn about isomalt in the Cookie Snack Attack group. We've been using it more lately, and we tend to use it more towards the end of the year. But I have plans for them for Valentine's Day and for Easter this year. So the more they can learn, the better.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm so excited.
People real quick. I'll just flash it up on the screen for you. Let's see. Jessie Ann's here. Kathy's here. Jackie's here. Camille. Hello. Nicole. Aaron. All right, Facebook user, before she gets started, if you want to make comments and you want people to know your name, just back out, go to the very bottom of the text above the video, and there's a place where there's a link to go to StreamYard to give it permission to show your name. And they supposedly have fixed it to where if you're watching from a Facebook group, you can also see it. So if you got frustrated before, you may want to give it a whirl. Hey, Becky. Hey, Barbie. Hi, Laura. Hey, May. May, how are you doing? Let's see. Oh, you like these? This is just one pair of about 6 pairs of antlers, because between my collection I used to use in the store for kids classes and what Kelly has sent me and what Debbie brought me and what I picked up this year, I think I could do a whole Christmas event with just antlers.
I think you should. I love it.
I thought about sending you something too, but I'm going to wait till next year because it was too late by the time I saw your Christmas tree. But next year I may send you my my brand new big Christmas tree one to wear.
Oh my gosh.
It's just been so crazy. I didn't think I could get it to you in time before the event. Hello there. Look, everyone is so happy to be here tonight. Guys, thanks so much for showing up for all the artists. Thank you for sharing the stream. Thank you for being here every night. I did want to tell you that Timbo had a conflict last night and my scribes had not arrived yet to do my tutorial because I was supposed to be the backup tutorial, but my scribes weren't here to make the scribe Christmas tree. So we just went ahead and took last night off and moved Timbo to next Tuesday during the day. But he said to tell you guys, he's going to give you an extra discount off his class pass next week so that you can get all of his online classes for one price for the whole year. He's going to do that. And he's going to treat it like a little mini class and give you a supply list and tell you where the cutter came from so he can do the mean green dude. And he'll be doing that like a mini class for us next Tuesday. So Timbo, if you happen to be watching tonight, then thank you so much. Everybody's very excited. They were really freaking out when they thought you weren't going to be here. I'm so glad to see all you guys. It's so nice that everyone is
awesome.
All right, let's see. Let's try this camera view for a second. Okay, now tell them all about you, how to follow you, anything else you want them to know. And please tell them your last excursion out of the country, because you are one of the lucky ones that gets to like travel and go places. So it's almost like vacation, and we live vicariously. So share that info, okay?
Exhausting vacation. Yeah, so hi everybody. I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to Amy for hosting this amazing event. I am Sidney Galpern, for anybody that I don't know. I'm the owner of SeeMeCakes.com and the inventor of See Me Isomalt. I've been doing this for over 15 years, I think 16 years now, and I'm really excited because our 12th anniversary of See Me Isomalt is coming up in January, which is very, very exciting. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and by far Isomalt is my favorite medium to work with. There's just so much you can do with it, and incorporating it into cookies is really a no-brainer because it's really, really easy. Once you kind of get all the tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you tonight, it's really, really fun to be able to incorporate that in with your cookie design. So that is what I want to show you. Yeah, we did just get back from the UK. We went to the Cake International show in Birmingham, England, and that was amazing. And then we did some fun classes with Dinky Doodle, Don Butler, in Nottingham at Dinky Doodle HQ, which was amazing. We had sold out classes, which is so exciting. And I just love teaching and sharing my love of Isomalt and sugar art with you guys. So that is what we are going to be doing tonight. Super excited.
It's so exciting. Now listen, whenever you are ready to jump in, you just go straight ahead, okay?
All right, sounds good to me. So yeah,
we're lined up now too. Your lips and the voice and the video are now all lined up, so that your internet must have just kicked up a gear for us. So that's awesome.
Okay, good.
Okay, awesome.
Know if anything looks off or anything like that.
No, it looks perfect right now, actually.
Okay, cool. We'll hopefully keep it that way.
Okay, yes.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna start with our demo tonight. So I wanted to show you guys some really fun decorations that you can do. This can be standalone cookies. These can go onto a cake or a topper. They can make a centerpiece, but we are gonna make some different designs all centered around some Christmas trees. So I have two different versions here. One is gonna be kind of a classic rustic sort of look. This one is the cookie, and it's hollow on the inside too.
Oh, I love it.
So just super easy, super lightweight. I'm going to show you how to get this effect. And I just think that it's so pretty. I love the rustic look. As much as I love color, I really love just how simplistic that this looks. I think that it's so nice. And just kind of lends itself with the cookie texture. And then for all of you bright, colorful Christmas fans, holiday fans, we will be doing an Isomalt tree that is hollow as well, but this one is all Isomalt. And then I'm going to show you how to do the little lights that I did onto the tree, as well as all the painting and shading and adding the snow and everything like that.
So Sydney, is that mold on your site?
It is, yes. So this is the mold that I'm using. So this is our tree. I think we had a specific name for this tree. Evergreen tree. Thank you. It was such a pretty name.
Tree. Well, Miss Michelle, if she'll drop us a link.
Yeah, definitely. Into the comments there. Thank you. So it's a two-part mold. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Amy has a code.
Yeah, Amy does have a code.
What is my code?
Sweet.
Is it Sweet 10?
I think it's Sweet 10, yeah, for 10% off.
All right, I'm going to put a code up for you guys to get a discount.
Perfect.
I didn't look it up. I have it in my other room, Sydney. I'm sorry, but I'm streaming from the dining room tonight because the other room is not still unpacked yet. It's just what it is.
You're good. You're good. So yeah, make sure to use that code, guys, if you are interested in getting the mold. So that it'll work on the mold. It'll work on the Isomalt. The only thing it doesn't apply to is kits and classes. So it'll work on anything else on our site, all the molds and everything. But I really love this mold. You can even see in the mold itself, like how much it sparkles. Like it's just such a pretty mold. And it is a two-part mold. So I'm actually going to show you two different ways to do this, of making 3D pieces with the mold together. You can also do a more 2D look, which I did for these two trees here. So these, even though they have a ton of depth and texture to them, they're actually flat. So you can do halves, and then they sit up against something really easy, or they sit flat that way too.
You know, those are gorgeous. And you know what, Sydney? I bet if you did a two-part, do you bake it separate and then put it together? Are you going to tell us that?
That's exactly what I'm about to show you, yes.
That would be so cool for anybody that wants to get engaged at Christmas or has someone getting engaged. Pop the ring inside that tree and put a round bottom on it and let them break it open.
Oh, I love that. That would be
That'd
beautiful.
be fun.
I really love that. All right, so yeah, we're going to go over all about how I made the trees. I'm going to show you both in cookie and in isomalt, and then we're going to talk about how you can decorate them and some different design ideas. For now, I'm going to tilt my camera down, so just bear with me for a second, guys, while I get it all situated, and then we will get started. All right, so let me just make sure this is all centered okay.
That looks great.
All right, cool. I have my iPad set up in front of me.
I have it on the video, but the link will be a live hyperlink as soon as the videos post after the live stream ends. So you'll be able to check that out. Use Sweet 10 for 10% off.
Perfect. All right. So you can see I have a variety of some different trees and things here that I'm going to show you guys. But we're going to start out with the cookies and get those baking. Well, we're going to hypothetically bake them, but in real life, if you were baking them, then you would want to start with that, of course. All right, so the dough that I'm using is my sculpted and construction gingerbread dough. So this is a very tough and very low spread or low puff dough. This recipe is listed on my website, seemecakes.com, for free. But this is basically what I use for all of my cookies because it's really, really strong. It is a construction gingerbread. So it has a really nice smell to it. And it does, you know, it's all edible. It has a nice taste to it, but it is definitely on the tougher side. So I use this more so when I'm making designs that I don't want to move because I do a lot of 3D and textured work. I don't want it to move or, take out any of the detail as it expands. So that is what I'm using. But honestly, you can use any cookie dough that you like. The less that it's going to expand, the better. So if you have one that's a very low spread or no spread, that would be best. But the more dense, the better for just getting all the detail in these molds. But I've used tons of different kinds. And I really have used like Pillsbury out of the tube even to try like experimenting into our molds. And it worked great too. Because the cool thing about these molds is they are high heat because we make all of our silicone molds for isomalt, right? So they're high heat, which means you can actually put them in the oven. I'm going to tell you a couple different ways to do this, but you actually can put the dough in the mold and put the mold right in the oven for maximum amount of detail. So it just makes it really, really easy. So this is really easy to make. It does have like a corn syrup base to it, so it's very stretchy and pliable. You can warm it up slightly if you need it even more pliable, but just at room temperature, which is what it is now, it's very, very soft. And essentially, if I wanted to create that half tree, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take little bits of the dough, and you can see that it just smooths over really easily. And I'm just going to start to fill it into the mold. So I'm doing this with the mold open, and I'm just pressing it in and kind of filling in all the cracks and crevices. Okay, and the cool part about this is that you can actually fill it as much as you want. So you can see I have a tree here that is completely filled up in the mold, but this one I only filled about halfway, and that way you can get a smaller tree. So if you just need something that's a lot tinier or shorter, you can definitely just fill it to the level that you want.
Well, you just made Phyllis super happy. I think she's one of our SoCal girls. She didn't know the molds could go in the oven.
Yes, that's really one of the best parts, I think, with cookies. Some people even bake cakes in them. It's really amazing.
It's a little life-changing when you find out something like that, huh, Phyllis?
Yeah, for sure. And I just love it because it brings a whole nother, dimension to the cookies. And I feel like it's a lot faster as well a lot of the time because it already has all the texture. Really, all you have to do with these, if you want to leave them rustic, is just add a little bit of paint and you're done. So it goes very quick. You don't have to go back and decorate them too much. It's very efficient.
She says yes. Lots of exclamation points. You already did it. You made somebody else super happy tonight. I bet don't fill out those molds though, because I need a Christmas tree mold.
It's so fun, right?
Yes.
Got in about 150, 60.
Okay, let's sell them all. Go work, guys.
Yep, we are good to go. Right. So as I'm filling this, I am making sure that I'm not filling it too full. Now, if you were doing just a half cookie, you could if you wanted the back to be flat. But just to save on cookie dough, to save a little bit of excess so I can make more of them. And sometimes you do want to put something inside of it or behind it. I am making this concave, so you can see that it is going to be like dipped in the center, so it's not actually filled to the top. Also, that's going to account for it puffing as well, because this does, with a lot of cookie doughs, if you are making something this thick, a lot thicker than just rolling a really flat, thin piece, it's going to puff a little bit. That's just kind of how it goes. So with this one, I take the structure over everything because I want it strong. So it's okay if it puffs a little, because it'll actually fill into the mold really nicely if you do that. But I do account for just a tiny bit of puffing when you're doing such thick, deep kind of pieces. So basically, I'm just going to kind of make sure that everything's in the crevices, but there's no like real specific way that you need to fill this. I'm even taking just like little pieces of dough and kind of stuffing them into the areas that I missed and going back and just making sure that it's all kind of filled up the sides and everything.
And that mold is for the 2 full-size trees, and you just make shorter trees by coming down the mold less, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Well, that's
so now
a no-brainer. Everyone needs that.
I know, right? And it's so versatile because you could go really, really small, or you can go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so now if I wanted to do, you could fill it as much as, as far down as you wanted to. And if I wanted to just leave it as the half flat backed tree that sit really nicely kind of on the table. So if you're going to do a spread of cookies, that might be the way to go. Then I would just go ahead and put this into the oven. So I put this right on my cookie tray and put this right in the oven. And you can bake it to whatever your normal recipe is. So whatever your normal dough kind of recipe and temperatures are, you can do that. But I do recommend checking it every 5 minutes just because it has some different thicknesses. So sometimes the edges will, cook faster and things like that. So you just want to check it every 5 minutes until it kind of loses the sheens, until it looks a little bit more mattified and it's getting golden brown at those edges. So I just would pop that in. Now, if you want to be a little bit more efficient and you don't care quite as much about getting every single detail, you could freeze this and then take it out of the mold and bake a whole sheet of them. So you can make them over and over. And then because this specific dough does not puff very much, it will hold the shape. It's not quite as detailed when you don't bake it right in the mold and it's just out here on the sheet, but they still do come out really beautiful. And I think if you're covering it in snow and things like that, it probably would have a very similar look. So if you needed to do a lot of these and you only have, 2 halves of your mold or 1 mold together, you could take it out, and then that way you can make a whole sheet of them at once in the oven.
How long do you usually let them cool before you peel them out of the mold?
I've let them cool until you can touch it, basically. I mean, I know my hands from ice melt are a little bit more heat proof, but as long as the mold has cooled down enough that you can handle it, so probably a good 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
It's kind of the same as any cookie that you bake. You just don't want it to be soft right when it comes out of the oven, so you just want to let it cool down and harden a little, and then it'll pop right out.
Okay.
So Tina Shedd has a great idea. She's got to get her tree mold out now, but she wants to put them on a charcuterie board.
Oh, that would be so pretty. I love that idea.
Centerpieces, a whole tree.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it.
Say thank you to all of the instructors again, because everyone is doing something that's within their wheelhouse, but kind of out of their wheelhouse. I feel like you guys have all really put yourselves out there with a lot of really great ideas.
Yeah, it's super fun. I feel like these kind of give us the time to be able to be creative too. So it's really fun to have these opportunities to demo and try something different. So it's
so
super
much fun. And thank you for working in that cookie for everybody, because sometimes we get stuck and we think, okay, we can only use this mold for fondant. We can only use this for isomalt. And it's just not that way anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can do the same thing if you wanted to with fondant, with gum paste, with modeling chocolate, and you can make these in the mold the same way. So, I mean, you can use your molds for so many more things.
And Mighty says you could make it in butter to put on the charcuterie board.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting so many ideas, guys. I love that.
They use our little, it's like a little crawfish mold, and they make butter pats in Louisiana for all
like the crawfish boils.
And we do that at Thanksgiving with a turkey mold for our table. That's
love
so
it, love
great idea. Oh, and May is also saying cream cheese flavor.
Oh, that's really, oh my gosh. I just have so many ideas now for Christmas.
too.
Yeah, you can make ice cubes with these too, just by pouring the
Oh,
water right
that's
in and
cool.
using them. All right, so now if you wanted to go more of a 3D look, if you're going with the cookie and you want to do more of the 3D look, all you have to do is you're going to fill both of the molds, and you can do the same thing of only filling them as high as you want to, but you're going to fill both of the molds, and then the mold does have rubber bands that go with it, so you'll put them together. You'll double wrap the rubber bands around it just to hold it in shape at first. We're not going to bake it with the rubber bands because you don't want those exposed to heat. But after the two halves go together, what I'll usually do, because they'll both have cookie dough in them, I will just take some tubes, kind of like this, almost like a Band-Aid, and I'll go up the seams and just kind of press it down in. So you can use your fingers, you can use your tools, and you just want to bridge the gap. The nice part about this dough is when two pieces are touching and it bakes, they kind of fuse together. So you don't need glue. You don't have to really worry if they're going to attach or not. They're going to attach if it bakes next to each other. So even like these
Sydney,
kind of two halves will just stick. Yeah.
Phyllis says she can see her cheese ball recipe in that mold. She's stoked.
Yeah.
May
for
is saying
sure.
cake pops. Oh my goodness, tons of things with this amazing molds.
Yes. Oh my
Pops.
gosh, guys.
Um,
Okay, everybody has to tag me or post it in our Torch Team group because I want to see what these all are going to turn out as. I love it.
That's another thing, you guys. Please make sure you tag Cookie Snack Attack and See Me Cakes anytime you post anything that came from the event so that we can see what you guys like and we know what to repeat next time.
Yes, for
That's
sure.
gorgeous.
Right, isn't that pretty? So now at this
Yes.
point, if I wanted to, I could take them out. This one, because this dough is really tough, I just took it right out. But if you wanted to maintain the shape a little better, you could freeze it first. You could see it just falls right out, and then I could make a whole bunch of those, put them on a sheet, and bake them all at the same time if I wanted.
That is absolutely gorgeous, and your camera is doing phenomenal, Sydney.
Yay, awesome.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time I'm seeing this. Did you actually bake it put together?
I did, actually. That's a great question. So what I did was I put the two halves together and filled it in, like I said, with the little extra pieces along the seams. And I did put the rubber bands on it just to hold the two together when I added the extra dough and was like pressing up into it and everything. But then I carefully removed the rubber bands because those can't go in the oven. And I put this on straight up and down on a cookie sheet and baked it like this. So it's not actually attached together, but it's super, strong, and the dough's kind of holding it together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then it just kind of puffs together, and you can see when it is done. It's still pretty hollow, so it's very lightweight. You could add a filling inside if you wanted to. You could put sprinkles or something, like you said, crack it open if you wanted. But yeah, super fun.
That's so cool.
All right, so like I said, you would bake that to whatever your normal recipe is. You could just want to check it like every 5 minutes or so and make sure that nothing is, getting too burnt or anything on the edges. And yeah, just take it out as soon as it starts to get golden brown on the edges and let it cool before you unmold it. So that would take, if you are not baking it in the mold, it's going to take a lot less time because the mold absorbs so much heat. It kind of take some of the heat away from the cookie rather than the cookie baking. The mold absorbs some heat. So when I baked this one, which I just baked about an hour or two ago, this one took upwards of 30 minutes in the mold. So
Okay.
It does take a little bit longer. If you're doing like a statement piece, that's not too bad to be able to, you just set it in there and let it go, checking it every 5 to 10 minutes. But you do want to, if you do want it to go a little bit faster and more efficient, that's when you would, take them out and not have it actually in the mold. You could just lay it right on your baking sheet and bake those up.
Could you glue them together?
Yeah, you could glue the two halves together too if you prefer doing that. You'll just have a little bit more of a seam, but depending on how you decorate, you could hide that.
That's gorgeous.
Right.
Thank you.
So
You too. That was great.
All right. Now, again, I have a little bit of demo magic there. That one's already baked, so I'm not going to have to do that in the demo just because that would take a while to get it all baked together. But I also wanted to show you guys how to do it in ice melt because it is really, really, really pretty in ice melt as well. So I'm going to show you really quick and get this cooling. So for that, we're going to put the mold together first with the rubber bands double wrapped.
I'll tell you that all I can see is an upside down gnome ice cream cone.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like for a special piece,
Yes, absolutely. I saw I think it was like a table decoration on Pinterest, and they did the beard as the tree. To have that.
Wow. Okay, I just put in your website again.
I should just move these out of the way. So I'm
off.
Oh, what's that?
Someone was asking for your website where they could order the mold. So I put your website in and use Sweet 10 for 10% off. Basically everything except the classes and the kits because those are already discounted.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
A little trouble with the internet. I don't know why.
Can you turn your Wi-Fi off? Or is it not connected to Wi-Fi? Because the more devices
Sydney,
you
if
have
you
that are using
can
Wi-Fi.
pause for just a second because the internet
Yep.
on your screen looks a little sketchy. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
no problem.
clear.
We're
And
shutting
you
everything
have
down.
people ordering now.
Oh, fantastic. We do have some deals going on right now too for the 12 days of See Me. So we have I think it's a free bag of our new Cat's Eye, a 3-ounce sample bag with any order over, I believe, $35. And then any order over $50, you get a free bag of ice malt. So we have tons of deals going on right now.
Okay, I can hear you really well again. The screen is just a little. Oh, I lost her. Hold on, we'll get her back, guys. She's back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're totally clear now. Let me get
Okay.
these moved around again and get you back on the camera by yourself on the screen. There, you're perfect now.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that.
That's it. Just sometimes it does that, so it's easier if we just pause rather than them wanting us to re-record or edit.
Yeah, exactly.
Editing
Okay,
videos is not my friend.
perfect.
So
All
do
right.
you want me to shut Wi-Fi off your phone?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try that. Maybe there's too many devices. It's funny because we actually have stronger Wi-Fi here than we have where I usually do my live. So I don't know why it always has been giving us trouble. All right.
You're absolutely perfect now. Camera's focus, sound is great.
Okay, cool. So we will continue on then. I'm just melting down my ice malt. So our See Me ice malt is pre-cooked and ready to use. There's no temperatures, no recipes. We already did that for you. So it started out as that granule powder, that raw ice malt, and then we tempered that. So it's kind of like tempering chocolate. You just want to make sure to get it to all the right temperatures and everything like that. And then we just melt it in the microwave for 30 seconds and 15-second intervals when it's already tempered. So you just throw that into a silicone bowl and it is ready to go. You do want to be careful because it is very hot, of course, so you want to wear gloves just to protect your hands. But the more you work with it, the more comfortable and confident you're going to get working with ice malt. So, you know, just kind of practice with it, but definitely wear the gloves just in case because it is quite hot. Right, and I just melted down. I actually didn't use clear. I used our new Emerald City color. This is a green gold.
I love that.
It is so pretty. I have a bar of it here that you can actually see the color a little bit better. My camera will focus on that. It just shows you like the.
That is stunning.
I thought it would be so pretty for the tree. So it's a very Grinch color. I love it.
Oh, love it.
One of Alex's creations. All right. So I just melted that down until it was a liquid, and it is a metallic, so I don't really have to worry about boiling any of the air out of it, but I do bring it to a boil just to get it nice and liquid, and then I let it stop boiling at room temperature, let it cool down until it's nice and liquid, but it is flat. It's not actively bubbling. Just how it is right now will be perfect. Okay, now if you wanted to add your own color, you can add in edible airbrush color, or you can add in powdered colors like luster dust and petal dust, or you could also add flavoring. Using an oil-based flavoring or a powdered-based flavoring works great too. Just the one thing that you never ever want to mix into ice malt is gel color. So gel color, the gel in it will break down the ice malt and cause it not to set up properly and to get really extra sticky, and it just doesn't really mix well with the ice malt. So make sure you're using an airbrush or a powdered color. All right, and we're just going to fill this up. So because I am doing this hollow, I'm going to fill it all the way to the top first just to get a nice even coat all the way. And you can really see that pretty metallic coming through. All right, and then I'm going to carefully drain that back into the bowl. So these are very, very lightweight. You don't use very much ice malt when it's finished, but you do need a little bit more at first when you're filling it to the top because that's the easiest way to get it even all the way around.
Okay.
All right, so just draining this out, and I'm going to do that twice. I do it at least twice, depending on how thick of a layer I want all the way around, because that'll make it stronger the thicker the layer is.
So can we see how thick the one is that you have made?
Yes, this one here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it's pretty hollow. It doesn't, I would say if I had to guess, this weighs maybe an ounce or 2 ounces at most if you did a thicker coat. And the bags are 6 ounces, so you can definitely get quite a few trees out of that.
Can you put lights in there?
Yeah, definitely. That would look really, really pretty with the metallic because it will really shine if you put some lights up inside there, like the little string lights, or you can add them around it.
Tina Shed said she didn't know her gingerbread houses needed a forest.
I love that idea. I think that would be so pretty. Or you could do like a Christmas tree farm. It'd be really pretty.
I really like the idea of putting these on a charcuterie board or doing the butter. That's just, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, and they have like those buttercream boards now that are like charcuterie, but they do buttercream as the dip, and they do all different like desserts and things to dip into.
Tina's asking if she said, I went to get my mold out and my mind exploded with ideas. Just checking, is your semi-blue mold safe for oven 2? My big crown bottle cookie-fied.
Yes, absolutely. So we just we have a slightly different color silicone now. That's all, but it's the same high heat, food safe, super high quality silicone. So yeah, a lot of like our big bottles, that would be awesome in cookie. We have like the full size wine bottles.
The blue, so now they're yellow and
yeah,
white.
exactly. Okay. Yeah, those would be really cool.
All right, and Patricia's here. She's late, but she made it. Nadine says she shared. Thank you guys, and don't forget, if you're on your phones, show our artist Sidney Galpern tonight some love by hitting that like and love button.
Thanks, guys. All right, so
we're glad you joined us tonight. That's so cool.
And now I'm going to take a silicone tool, or you can use a toothpick or a skewer, and I'm just going to clean up some of that pore, like spout area. Just kind of clean it up as it cools slightly, and it'll just make unmolding a little bit easier. So I can just throw that back in the bowl. That's the best part about ice melt, is it all is remeltable. So if you, are just practicing, you don't want to keep the piece, or if you make too many of them, you can throw it back in, and there is no waste.
Right. Tina said her blue mold seems stiffer, so she just wanted to double check. So thank you.
Yes, no problem.
The blue, I think, made it slightly stiffer.
Yeah.
So sometimes if it's a thinner mold, we will add a sleeve.
Yeah.
And she also says no waste is her favorite. And I have to admit, I'm not great with ice melt yet, but I really like to mess around with it, play with it, use it for different parts of my projects, especially my 3D things. And the fact that it's no waste is great for me, because then I find myself trying more things.
Exactly. Yeah. It kind of takes the fear out of it of, what if you mess up, or what if you don't like it? It just really kind of lets you have fun and play with it. All right. So we're going to let that cool for probably, I would say, at least 25 minutes, because it is such a thick layer of silicone, since we make our molds really strong, because of course you want it as safe as possible for the hot ice melt. So it is going to insulate some heat. So I'd leave it at room temperature at least 25 minutes until it is cool and hard to the touch with a tool or a toothpick. So I did make one a little bit earlier. Again, demo magic here. And when it comes out, it really just does sparkle. It's so, so pretty.
Wow.
And it's hollow on the inside. There we go. So
ice malt, and Simi is the best.
Thank you.
That gold, though, I'm telling you, when you came out with that green color with the gold in it,
so pretty, right?
Yes, it's stunning. It's really stunning.
I love that. That's definitely one of my new favorite. Alex just came out with our new cat's eye too, which is a black ice malt that also has gold in it, so it creates this like duochrome. I'm thinking of so many ideas to use it for like New Year's, and it's just so pretty.
Yep, that will be actually that'll be gorgeous for New Year's, won't it? Are there more than one tree mold? Did I ask you that yet? Someone asked that earlier.
I think we only have the one.
And you were at different heights. I think we did talk about it, but I don't know if I put their comment up.
Yeah, they were, because I posted the reminder earlier, and they were talking in the comments about having a larger one, which I think would be beautiful. So definitely something to keep in mind.
Your eyes peeled.
All right, so I'm just melting a couple more colors because I want to make some Christmas lights to put onto the tree. So these would be beautiful. I thought it went really well with the green tree, just because it was a little bit brighter and more, realistic, like Christmas tree, decorated tree. But I think these would be beautiful on the rustic trees. You could even do something a little bit more classic. You could do just gold lights, so they kind of look like they're glowing, or like a yellow. You can do all one color. You could do red, would be really striking on this, or almost look like berries, like little holly berries. So you could definitely add them.
Evelyn says great detail. Marisa says she loves it. Rita says it looks like expensive Art Deco glass. Susan says she made one with your new green shimmery ice mold a couple days ago and loves it. And
Ooh.
Jessie Ann would like to know if we can special order mold designs. And then I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put actual lights in that tree, you know, the old fashioned trees, like the pottery trees that had those lights on them.
Yeah.
Could you use your Zioto pin and put a hole in there and then load it from inside?
Absolutely. Yeah. First off, to Jessie Ann, yes, you definitely can special order certain designs. If you have a something that you want molded, or if you need help with the design, we could definitely work on custom molds. And then, yes, if you wanted to add in some lights that are kind of inset into the piece, you could definitely use either the Zioto pen, which would make it really easy since it's like a heat engraver for food. So you could just pop holes into any spots that you want, or you can use a hot knife, just a metal knife that's held in front of the blowtorch, and you can definitely carve into it to any shapes and sizes that you needed.
This is so pretty, Sydney.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and make those little lights, and they're like lights or like ornaments, just depending on how you decorated them. I just feel like it added some brightness and some color. So what I did was I melted down 2 other of our colors. So this is I only have a little bit in there, as you can see. I've been using it a lot, but I used our new red shimmer, or our red shimmer's been out for a little bit, but we just brought it back. So it is a beautiful like iridescent red, and then I used our blue frost, which is another one of my absolute favorite colors, because it makes me feel cold even though it's hot. Like, it just has such a pretty frosty look to it. It's a metallic. And I'm just going to take a silicone tool, but you can use a toothpick or a skewer. And I'm just going to take little bits and just drop it out onto my silicone mat. So you can also do this, if you don't have a silicone mat, onto a piece of aluminum foil that's been greased with cooking spray so it doesn't stick. And when they're cool, in less than 5 minutes, because these are so small, all you have to do is pick them right up and put them onto your trees.
Because blue frost is perfect.
And
for the
once again, the queen of sugar here is making that look so easy.
Practice. It's all just practice. Right.
I make good raindrops when I try to make ornaments.
Yeah, right. Raindrops are great too. All right. This end is a little bit too. I don't want to drip the red down onto my hands, so I'm going to grab another one and just use that blue frost. And then for the one, the finished piece here, I also used our yellow ice melt, and then I added a little bit of pearl luster dust into it. The reason that I'm using metallics, not just because they look pretty having the metallic in them, is because they will stand out a little bit more. Transparent colors are great, but if you're putting them on top of something dark like the cookie, or on top of something another color, sometimes the color gets lost a little bit. It's like a glass, so whatever you put behind it is going to show through. So having that metallic or a solid finish is going to make them pop really nicely. All right. Easy as that.
Debbie would like to know, she says, I think I need a mean one mold and some of that green.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Aren't you going to be doing a little demo on that?
I am actually, yeah.
With our face mold?
I'm planning to do a demo with our face molds with this color, because it's just so perfect for the Grinch. So definitely.
Well, there you go, Debbie. Debbie is a huge Grinch fan. Oh,
that's definitely I think one of my favorite holiday movies and characters and themes. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to grab a paper towel here, and I'm going to do a little bit of painting while those pieces cool. I like to shade my trees just a little bit more. You don't have to. I think it would look very pretty, especially with the snow, if you just left them. But I did add a little bit. You can see this one's much darker, kind of more of like a wood kind of color. And so what I'm going to do, because you can see it started out the same color, is I'm going to just shade it with some dry petal dust. So I'm just using chocolate brown from the Sugar Art.
I thought you'd actually use like a dark gingerbread instead of a blonde gingerbread.
You absolutely could do that too. So if you want to save yourself a step, you can use a darker gingerbread. You can either just use like a dark brown sugar in it and a dark corn syrup inside of it, or you can actually add color into this as well. So this takes any kind of color. I use my See Color Splash colors because they're really pigmented, but you can also use gel colors and powdered colors in the dough. And I let my mixer do the work for me. So if I'm going to do that, I add it in either sections or all at once in the whole batch in my mixer, and I just mix all of that up if you want to add a little bit of color into it.
So beautiful.
If I do want to do that, I usually leave out some of the spices. So this mixture, just, gingerbread, it has, different spices in it that are going to tint it. So a lot of times I do try and leave it as pale as possible, just so it takes that color nicely. And I'm only adding this dust on the indents. So I'm not doing it on the tips of the branches. I want to leave those a little bit lighter, again, just so they shade nicely. And I'm just kind of using this dry on the indents and the underneaths. And that's really just adding kind of a subtle shading. It's not going to be anything too harsh, but I'm going to add it around the bottom as well and kind of up the sides to just make it look a little more finished.
Why doesn't everybody take a second while you're watching the video and tell us what state or city or country you're watching from? And that will help the algorithm a little bit in the middle of this video.
Yes, yes, please.
Tell us where you're watching from.
Right, here we go.
We're in Melbourne, Florida.
We are.
And I am in Orange, Virginia. Isn't that funny? You're in Florida and I'm in Orange.
That is funny.
Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Patricia's in Virginia. Patricia, where are you in Virginia? Houston, Texas, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Arkansas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Colorado is in the house. Denver, Colorado, Lakewood, Colorado. Miss Terry Lewis is here. You snuck in on us. Hi, doll. How are you? I hope you're doing well tonight. Tasha's New York City. Let's see.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Alabama. We've got some more Florida. That Jessie Ann's in Florida, Southern California, Spring, Texas, Alexandria, Virginia. I didn't know you were that close. Rochester Hills, Michigan, Tampa, Florida, Japan. Rose is here. Hey, Rose, we're so glad you could watch tonight. Do you know where Mary Esther, Florida is?
I don't think I
Nicole
do.
Jackson is there watching tonight. We've got Williamsburg, Virginia, Southern Maryland, Phoenix, West Virginia, Melbourne, Florida. Like, they're all over. I was hoping our Australia friend was here tonight, and Terry is doing great. She's in the shipping room because that's what we do, right? We work all the time.
Fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, Janessa, Melbourne, Florida. Woohoo. All right. So, yeah, I just added that little bit of shading. Doesn't that make a huge difference? I know this one's unbaked, but it was kind of a similar color, and it just makes
beautiful.
It pop so much.
Australia's in the house, too, tonight, Sid.
Oh, fantastic.
Pensacola.
That's awesome. Oh, near Pensacola. Okay, cool.
Florida.
All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of snow now, too, while we are painting. So I'm just using a little bit of my Semi Color Splash Base White, and that is going to give me a really beautiful kind of, this is a very thick paint, the base white. It's almost more like an acrylic paint texture. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that on both of the trees. And I use a pretty wide brush for this because I don't want it to be too perfect. I kind of have to force myself not to overthink this. So I just take a nice wide brush and I just hold it kind of parallel to the tree rather than kind of stabbing directly at it. And I'm just going to take a pretty generous amount and just kind of pull it down over just the tips of the branches.
And just saying, there is a sale on airbrush color and airbrushes, and you can use your coupon on top of it.
Yes, you can.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We extended our Black Friday sales on airbrushes and airbrush color and bundles.
Awesome, you guys. Did you hear that? Say that again, nice and loud.
So our airbrushes and our airbrush colors, all the Semi Color Splash, you can use, they're already discounted automatically with no code necessary, and you can use your Sweet 10 gift code on top of that. So super exciting.
It's crazy how on camera, I mean, your camera's probably what, 18 inches above your work surface?
Yeah.
But when you brushed down that tree, how immediately and thick that white looked. It looked like conventional snow on there. It was so solid.
Yeah, it really, really does make a huge difference. This base white is just incredible. It's so pigmented, and you can mix it with other colors too. So if you want that pigment and that intensity and that opacity in other colors, you can mix it with the other Semi Color Splash colors to get it. And it really does make a huge difference. And like you said, on camera too, I try and always make sure that all of my pieces are going to look good on camera as well as in person, not just because I'm doing, you know, live demos and taking pictures of my stuff primarily, but because when somebody goes to that party and they see your pieces there and they take pictures and post it, you want that to look as good as possible, because that's just free advertising for you. So I always recommend to make sure that you take pictures of your piece as you go and make sure that it looks good to the camera as well as to the eye, because that can be really important for advertising your business.
Yeah, that you can't, these days you cannot afford to miss a marketing opportunity.
Exactly.
Sydney, can you use royal icing on isomalt? That's from Jackie Curtis in Williamsburg.
Yes, you can. Hi, Jackie. You can use royal icing on isomalt. You can also pour isomalt over royal icing when it's dry. So as long as the royal icing is dried completely, you can actually encase it in isomalt and it will not be affected by the heat, which is pretty cool. All right.
And now the airbrush color can be mixed into everything. Fondant, it can be painted on. Buttercream, it can be mixed into royal icing.
Yeah,
it can be mixed in your cookie.
Yeah, I actually use the Semi Color Splash colors in my cookie dough as well, because they are an airbrush color, but they're also just so much more pigmented than a normal airbrush color, that you can use it for all of your doughs and your batters and everything. Okay, and I'm just using a little bit of piping gel to add those little ornaments / lights onto my piece. They would probably stick just from the base white, but just to add a little bit of extra strength to them, I'm just painting a kind of a generous amount on and just sticking those down, and that just adds some color into the piece.
Well, just wondering, I know you'll probably seal that isomalt one, but will you seal the cookie one as well with like a confectioner's glaze or PME?
Yes, you definitely can, especially if you're in a humid area like I am in Florida. The cookies are going to absorb moisture too. They're sugar. That's just how it goes. So you definitely can spray those with the edible glaze spray. It adds a slight shine to it, but really nothing too intense because it's so porous. It just absorbs that glaze, and it will definitely help it from absorbing too much moisture and getting too soft. So a lot of my display cookies I will spray with the glaze as well.
Okay. Well, Rose from Rose, you're in Japan, right? She says very neat. Jackie in Williamsburg says nice. Nicole Jackson in Florida says very cool. Karen Green is saying this is so neat. Tasha says beautiful. Love this. She's in New York City right now.
All right, there we go. So I just added a few of those on there on top of the snow, or you could do the snow afterwards.
Wow.
You can also use like an edible snow mixture. So a lot of times I take wafer paper and I grind that up, and I'll use that as more of a textured snow if you wanted something. Let me get these in shot here.
They're absolutely gorgeous.
And super easy. So you can see I got these done really quickly. I know I didn't bake them on camera, but as far as, you know, baking, you can do other things in the meantime. So it's still very efficient. And I just think that these would be so pretty. I actually have some plans I was working on today, but I didn't quite finish them to use these on a Christmas cake. So definitely stay tuned for that, because I'll be posting pictures, because I think that since they're flat on the backs, it's just so perfect to be able to add, you know, a couple trees onto your cakes and things too. So if you do
now, earlier in the video, you said that you could, and Allison would like to know if you spray the outside or do both inside and outside with PME.
I do both. So I'll spray it on both sides. Sometimes I let it dry on one side and then flip it, or you can let the outside dry and then flip it over and spray up into the inside. And that will just make sure that the isomalt doesn't get sticky or cloudy from humidity. And then it also locks in the paint too. So the white isn't gonna like come off, or if you use another kind of paint, it's not going to come off from anything. It just kind of locks everything in and out.
And then earlier in the video, when you said if you just had the one mold, but you wanted to bake a whole sheet of the trees, that you would press them in. And did you say that you froze them and then baked?
You can, yes. So a lot of times I will freeze my dough. If you're baking it in the mold, it does help, but it's not as necessary because the mold is going to kind of cradle it. So there's nowhere else for it to go. But to keep it from spreading, I do use the freezer quite a lot. So if you're doing a whole tray of these, you can freeze it to get it out of the mold if you're having trouble getting it out, just to harden it a little bit. But I do also freeze them for about 15 or 20 minutes before I put them directly in the oven. And that will help just to make sure that your dough isn't going to spread quite as much. So
and is that whether you bake them solid with a flat back or whether they're rounded? They'll bake
all of them. Yeah, all of them. I would do the same thing.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and there is all of our different trees. So, you know, different colors. You could even, I think it would be like a pretty rustic look since the dough is a little bit tan to begin with, since it's a gingerbread dough. If you added green into that, it would give you like a beautiful deep forest green. So even without adding color necessarily painted onto it or anything, I think it would be really pretty to do these like a deep, like fur, you know, green. You can do fun colors and do it more whimsical, do like pinks and blues and purples, and the sky is kind of the limit.
Well, listen, they're saying so pretty, stunning, so pretty and festive, Sydney, stunning, lovely, so pretty. Like they are really, really liking this whole tutorial.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much for watching. It was super fun. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tilt my camera back up here.
Let's come back to camera view because Sydney has a giveaway.
Yay!
I love it when you are on because everyone just gets so excited. Barbie also says thank you so much. Debbie says love it. Phyllis says thanks so much. Love the tree mold. Trust
yeah,
green
be sure to tag us, guys, because I want to see what you guys make.
Oh, with a tea light in it. Laura, you're right. I bet a baby tea light would fit. You could just set it right over it.
Exactly, and especially if it's flickering, that would be so pretty.
Wouldn't that be nice, like the old-fashioned ones? That's so cool. Okay, well, everyone loves it. Sydney has a giveaway tonight. Okay, Michelle, will you just check your messages real quick? Because I did not write this down. I'm going to message. Do you have Sydney's phone or your phone?
I have Sydney's phone.
She has mine.
She has your phone? I'm going to message her.
Sydney has mine.
All right. See if what I just sent you is, I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. I normally do. I did not.
Yes, correct.
Is that right? Okay. All right. So here's how it works, guys. Sydney, do you want to mail out of the country, or if somebody out of the country happens to guess properly, would you like to just give them some dollars to spend or something?
I actually have a digital class that I was going to give away, so that way it is open to anybody internationally. We'll just send you the link.
Yeah, that's such a great idea.
My beach house cookie. So it is a 3-dimensional cookie using ice melt, using fondant, painting, tons of fun stuff.
Okay, well, I'm not going to participate because I do know the answer, but I will be looking into that class for sure. So Sydney is going to ask the question. Let me explain how this works. We stream to a whole bunch of places at one time, and everything comes back to my streaming software, which is StreamYard. So to keep it all fair and to keep everyone honest and to make sure that you guys know I'm giving you the real winner and not a hand-picked person, we let it flow in order, and then I take a screenshot just to show who actually got it first. And then I have that in case anybody needs to see it. And we go from there. But when you guys go to answer this question, they're going to flow in so fast, I'm going to have to wait for the initial flurry to stop, and then I'm going to scroll back up in the feed. So right now, the last comment that's posted is this one from Allison, just so no one knows, nothing else is going on. Yeah, I think so too, Allison. No one else posts anything. We need a little break right here. If you were here at the beginning, Sydney already gave you the answer. And Sydney, if you would like to ask the question.
Absolutely. So this coming January, we have a very big anniversary of Simi Ice Melt coming up that I mentioned in the beginning. Does anybody know how many years that anniversary is?
Okay, they're going to start pouring in because there's only like a 5-second delay.
Okay.
Oh, we have a winner. It's Holly. Holly, you won. Hold on. Now, as soon as everybody stops typing, because now they're all rolling in, it was 12, correct?
Yep, it was.
All right. So Laura's joking, you guys, but the other night the answer was 46. So she typed that in before it even started. But Holly was actually the next person. I'm going to grab a screen photo right now, just so you guys know. All right. And Holly, you win. I'm so excited for you.
Congratulations. We will get in touch with you to get you your class.
Now, Holly, do you want her to message you, or do you guys want to message her? How do you want to do that?
Either way.
Yeah, anything's fine.
Okay.
However you normally do it.
Everyone's excited for her. This is so nice. I love it because you guys are just also supportive of each other. Like there's never an issue. I love that.
It's amazing. I love this group.
Isn't it cool? A good community.
Yeah, for sure.
And
It's
thank
really
you
cool.
because she's supporting us for the retreat.
Yes, huge thank you because we are so excited to have you sponsoring our retreat. We're very thankful.
And I didn't ship the box the other day because I got a larger Amazon box in so I could fit more in it. So I sent the things you need for your regular, and then I happened to find a whole bunch of additional cookie cutters. So I'm going until the box is full. When I was cleaning out my store, I was like, oh, I have all of these and Sydney needs these. I mean, there's
Thank you.
So
Oh my
hopefully
gosh.
everybody will get a little pink
We have
something
4
to go
seats
home
left.
with.
You are amazing. Yeah, we only have 4 seats left open in our retreat in January in Cocoa Beach.
Tell them about that because they may not know. There's a lot of straight on cookiers over
We
here.
have a couple more sponsors on here tonight.
We do, yeah. And it's so much fun. We have such a good time. This is our 3rd one, and it is going to be in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And we are doing it January, is it 15th through the 18th? 15th through the 18th, and it is amazing. So it's kind of like summer camp, but in January. So we have classes during the day. We have the amazing Don Butler from Dinky Doodle in the UK coming over just for classes with us. We have Donald Joyner from Orlando. He is an amazing cookie artist, and he will be doing a cookie class.
Pastry chef from Disney.
Yeah, he works at Disney. He's a pastry chef. And then I will be doing an ice melt class, of course. And then in the evening, we do game nights. We do scavenger hunts. We have dinner and demo night, and it's super duper fun. The cutoff for registration is the 15th, I believe, of this month. So make sure if you guys are interested in coming and joining us in January in sunny Florida. It is nice and warm right now.
I mean, Florida in January, you can't
There's
be.
going to be a real alligator.
Yeah, there is. We're going to have a little alligator encounter experience. Sorry. Grandpa and Minnie are playing right now. So we are going to, we're going to have a great time. And we also, we have any locals here from Florida, we also have dinner and demo night on the last night where we have demos, so you can get tickets just for that as well, if the full classes aren't your thing. So
that is so much fun. And look, Donna's like, wow, what a lineup. Great lineup.
I know. It's so much fun. We have a blast.
One year I hope to catch the retreat, but it will not be this year.
Yeah, definitely. We have
a little lot going on
here. A little bit, yeah, but we would love to have you.
And
I can't thank you enough for doing this demo. Seriously, like just putting your art out there where people can see what you do, and you make it look so easy that you inspire them to try it. It's so important to just, I know you agree with this whole philosophy about supporting other artists and rolling it forward. So I like to think of our particular community within the big community as being open source, because I have not run into anyone that's done an instruction video for me that has not been willing to answer questions after the fact. You guys are all the best. And thank you guys so much for wanting to spend time together before the holidays. It makes it a little easier when we don't get to see everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. It's really fun. And I can't wait to see what you guys do with all of these ideas that we brainstormed.
How can they follow you, the new ones? Especially our overseas people. How can they find you? And that green was Emerald City.
Emerald City, yeah, was the green that I used, and you can follow me here on Facebook at my name, Sidney Galpern, which is right over here somewhere. If you type that in, you can find me. SeeMeCakes.com. I have YouTube, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, all of the fun stuff. We have our Torch Team group, our See Me Torch Team. So lots of different ways to learn and to share and ask questions. It's super fun.
And don't you have play dates that are only like $5 for registration?
Yeah. So I do so many different things.
You guys, you need to be looking at that lineup for next year, even if you just jump on and watch, because then you can see what's going on and see if you want to jump in and start to play in the sugar community too.
Yeah, absolutely. I do live streams. We do our skill socials on Zoom every month where we do like an hour of guided practice, which is great for beginners. We do longer online classes. We got something for everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so many ways to use it. Like everything is not just for one thing anymore if you're creative enough, if you get out of the box, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, let's let these fine people go. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time, so 5 o'clock on the West Coast. To everyone that tuned in, we're so happy that you were here. I wanted to let you know that tomorrow night is Brooke Taylor, and she on her event thing that I set up, it has a picture of what she's going to make tomorrow night, and she'll be using isomalt as well. And we're just going to, I forgot the list in the other room, Sydney. So we're just going to go with Brooks tomorrow night. And then tomorrow morning, Okay, look, I should just confess this because you guys know occasionally I get a little too picky about things, but I didn't like the original video and I was halfway through it and it was really bothering me. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it was like, no, I can't post that. I don't like this. It doesn't look right. There's something bothering me. So I went back and I literally redid our entire video. And that is now posted by itself on Seriously Sweet, on Cookie Snack Attack, on the Amy Hicks page. You can grab it from there. But listen, please hear me so you don't get put in Facebook jail. It's licensing for that music and licensing for those backgrounds and things. So you can share it, but you can't use one of those programs that maybe or maybe isn't totally legal and download it and then put it on your own page, or you will get thrown in Facebook jail, or at the very least, whatever they do where they boot you off so that you can't play things. So just be careful, grab it, share it, show everybody's work, invite them to the event, share this in any of the groups that you're allowed to share it in. There's a lot of great stuff coming. I'm so happy that everything's been so different from Halloween.
Yeah, it really has.
Notice that? I mean, I'm here when you guys are doing them, but I'm also watching the replays because there's a lot of other stuff going on when you're live. But when I'm watching the replays, I'm like, okay, well, last time they did this and this time they're doing this, but they did it this way. And it's just like, it's so nice. The events were close together because I'm really catching a lot of new techniques and tips and pro tips.
Yeah,
so I hope you guys are too. We hope this is helping you make money for fourth quarter. So happy to be able to host the event for you. And everybody just go ahead and get ready for spring and Easter because there'll be a spring Easter one. Okay, so just start planning.
Can't wait.
Mom Michelle, do you want to jump on, tell everybody goodbye too?
And we're home and we're not at the shop.
Oh, look at her.
I'm gonna say hi.
She wants to play.
My girls in tonight to see you because they've been really they've needed a lot of treats tonight, and so they're being vocal and they're not normally. So I was worried it would be all up in the video. So, but the girls say hello, Minnie.
Say
I
hi.
have to bring them one day to see you.
Yes, that would be so much fun.
Merry Christmas. You guys have a great night.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.